Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and welcome to Monday. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And just like where we left off, I was off on Friday. My son graduated from college on Friday. I'm going to share a story. You want to know what my son is all about? I think the next story I tell you will tell you all that you need to know. I've been encouraging so many of you. Obviously, first and foremost, get that gold and silver put away. Right after that, with the, as we always tell you, don't put all of your money, having all of your money in the stock market, you're asking for trouble. I know it felt really good the last, 5, 6, 7 years, and it doesn't feel so good now, does it? By the way, Dow down almost another 600 points. We're nowhere close to bottom. But as I said, are putting it all into housing, or putting it all in gold and silver. The part that you're not putting into the gold and silver market, call Joey, 602-909-9048. I'll tell you right now, I love it. I've been watching the Dow get its kicked all year, and I've got no worries. I'm going to be tripling my money. You could be doing the same. But I told Jason, hey, I'm not even going to tell you the story because I want to get your reaction to it. So my wife and I, we fly in. My younger son flies in. My mom flies in, and of course, it's Illinois. You can only have 4 people at the graduation. It's outside. It was raining all day on Friday. Saturday morning, they have it outside, and you're supposed to park in the grass. Well, the grass was so waterlogged. Even the cop cars were getting stuck. Just tell you, these people are brilliant, right? So anyway, about an hour before the graduation, we get a text from our son informing us, hey, by the way, I graduated cum laude. And again, which is great. I mean, it wasn't magna cum laude or, I forget the others, another one, 2 other, it's the 3rd highest one. How's that? I guess for lack of a better story. And my wife was like, and you're just telling us now? And he's like, oh, I just found out. And we thought that was kind of odd. Okay, what have you. And then they have the graduation and they're walking in, and he's got the cap and the gown on, and I did it in my mind. I thought it was kind of odd because I figured he would have some kind of special thing on to signify the cum laude thing. But in any event, they go through the graduation, and it's my son's turn, and they call his name, and he gets his diploma. And as he's walking by where the president and all that were talking, he all of a sudden takes a left turn to the podium and tries to get out a "Let's Go Brandon." He got "Let's Go" out before they cut the mic, and then him and the president of the university had a few words. Which all of you remember, those of you, I shared that story about my son was a finalist for one of these competitions. The winning team got $10,000 for a business startup, and they ended up giving everybody, all 6 teams got, essentially the same prize. And my son was super upset and fired off an email to the president of the school saying, hey, this isn't a competition if, everybody wins. So anyway, after the graduation, parents were coming up to me, kids were coming up to us, and of course, we knew Joey was going to do something, that kind of thing. But the story that really got our attention was the conversation came up about all the stuff. And he goes, the school, they told me, and he goes, this was a few weeks ago. They told me that I qualified for 4 ropes. And I don't know, if you ever had kids graduating, they have these different colored ropes. They signify different things. In other words, hey, you're really good in your field. So he earned one in finance, another one in economics, another one in accounting, and another one in entrepreneurship. He goes, yeah, I earned them all 4. And he goes, Dad, they wanted me to pay $50 per rope to get the rope. And I said, well, wait a minute. If you want me to pay for it, then it's really not an award, is it? Right? And so he said, he didn't say a word to Mom, because of course me and Mom, we were like, well, no, we would have paid for it. We want to see if all your ropes on and all, you know. But no, he had no part of it. And again, he goes, yeah, I fired off another email to the president of the school after that one as well. So, Jason, that's all you need to know about where my kid's at.
Yeah, really, in the end, what does it matter? It's just a bunch of colors, right?
Right, that's what he said. He goes, they just tried to fleece me. He goes, they just wanted to make money. Oh, hey, by the way, you won this. Oh, wait, but you got to pay me? No thanks.
Yeah, you know, it's not really what your trophy case holds. It's what you actually do, Joe, that matters. So it's, I think that's pretty cool. You know, the Let's Go brand. It's too bad he couldn't get the whole thing out.
Right, and it was, and nobody knew. He didn't say anything to anybody. He says, he goes, I didn't even know I was going to do it. He goes, but there it was, and he actually touched the mic with his finger to see if it was on, and when it was on, he blurted it out, and he got Let's Go, and then Mike cut off, and then
it just makes me think. It makes me think of Forrest Gump when they ask him for a speech, and then they pull the plug on him.
So, anyhow, pretty proud day for us, and there you go. That's my oldest son in a nutshell. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. The Dow is down 550 more points today. The S&P down 100. The NASDAQ down 400. Gold's down 20. Oil's down 5. China locking it down, actually ratcheting up the lockdowns. I hate to say it, but coronavirus cases surging again now. We've heard rumors of mass mandates and lockdowns coming back. New York is now talking about this as well. Jason, I would not be surprised if once again we enter into some kind of quasi mass mandate lockdown in certain parts of the country again.
Yeah, you throw in a little bit of weirdness in the Ukraine war and geopolitics in Europe, and you could have quite the emergency across the news. And you know, I mean, how do you react to a news story when it says the mayor of New York, she's positive for coronavirus, she's going to work from home, and she's going to be there by herself for 2 weeks. She has no symptoms. Why are we testing? Don't you test after you get sick? Why? And that's the whole thing, Joe. They'll lock down entire cities, and then they'll start masking everybody up because people have some sort of a positive test, and that does not bode well for economics, Joe. They're shutting things down left and right all over the world now, and there's all these reasons why people can't get their goods and services out from Ukraine to Taiwan to China to the United States. And I mean, here's the one thing I like about gold. When gold's down today, 1.15%. But you got the NASDAQ down 3.5%. You got S&P down 2.5%. The Dow's down 1.5%. This is why gold is so good. Even when it's down, it's better than the other stuff, Joe.
Oh, by far, without a doubt. And it's and again, remember when the run. So let me tell you what happened today. So while we were sleeping, the bond market, the U.S. Treasury note, the 10-year note hit 3.2. It's back down to 309. I mean, but this is the Treasury market is making massive. Matter of fact, I just checked. It's down to 307. It's actually now down for the day. But the Treasury markets aren't supposed to move like this. Warren Buffett was out last week chastising the powers that be. Really, let's face it, it's the central bank, the SEC, and the big banks that turned Wall Street into a casino, and people are going to find out the hard lessons as always. The house always wins, and that means you end up losing. But liquidity is a big problem. We're starting to see, remember, there was the flash crash over there in Europe. Of course, I forget, I don't know, I think it was Morgan Stanley. Maybe it was Citi. I don't want to get the wrong person. Whoever it was, somebody admitted, it was a trading mistake. Listen, there's not enough liquidity in these markets. And again, all new lows for the year on the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and all of them are heading significantly lower. These people out there trying to tell you we're going to avoid recession, they are right. We are going to avoid recession. We are. It's going to be depression.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Dow loses another 1,000 today, Joe. By the end of today, when everybody takes a look what's going on, there could be so much selling off. The large cap stocks got hammered on Thursday, and then that's leaving all, there's nowhere else to go. They sold the small, they sold the medium, Joe. Now you have the large cap, the only thing that was keeping things up, and that's where there's nowhere else to go. And I mean, I talked to you briefly about Japan. We'll talk about Japan a little bit. And this chart I'm looking at, I mean, what do you believe to be true or not true? But Japan's been selling off treasuries like they did in December of 19, right before coronavirus. Right when with all the market stress in the repo market, Japan started selling treasuries. So did China. Joe, I was looking at Japan's selling of treasuries. The last 5 or 6 weeks of 2021 to today, they have sold a bunch of treasuries. And maybe you can help me fix this, because this is one of the charts that all the guys use. This doesn't make sense to me. You tell me if maybe you could bridge the gap here. I've been looking at China or Japan has about 1.5 trillion, maybe up to 2 trillion in U.S. treasuries. In this time span, 5 or 6 weeks left of 2021 to today, and obviously on any given week they could buy and sell per week. So I just see the uptick or the sell off, the buying up or the down. They measure it by 1,000 billions, which is a trillion at a time. I was counting the trillions they've sold versus the trillions they bought, the up weeks versus the down weeks. They've sold 10 trillions, over 10 trillion in U.S. treasuries over that span, and they've bought in the highs just over 2 trillion. With that math, wouldn't that mean they sold $8 trillion in treasuries and they only hold?
Yeah, I think I don't know what you're looking at because I don't have it in front of me, but my numbers, what I've seen is Japan has sold about 70 billion. So I don't know, maybe that's
this
off
is
a few digits.
It's a week by week, Joe. Week by week, it's crazy.
That's what I see. I don't know. Here's the bottom line, though. I guess the biggest point for everyone is they're selling.
Yep.
And everybody's selling at the time when the Fed is selling, right? So these treasury markets, by the way, the mortgage rates, 5, 6, 7 new highs. This is the highest mortgage rates have been going back to 2009. Making payments just skyrocket. Gas prices up 15 cents. I told you they were going to go higher. They're now 5 cents away from the all-time record high hit earlier. They're saying that the average price of a gallon of gas, $4.38. The record, $4.43. Diesel fuel up 43 cents in the last 2 weeks. Average price of diesel now $5.58 and rising. And, of course, we've told you all about those issues. Jason, there's so many factors that are going into things. I know car sales have been stopping. I got a lot of people talking about car dealerships now are starting to lay off the support staff. All the sales guys have all quit because they don't got the cars. But now even the support staff, essentially these car lots, hey, we've got mechanics. Fix some warranty stuff. But other than that, the layoffs have started. We saw it with Thursday's jobless claims number back above 200,000. And like I said, the vast majority, they try to keep talking about, there's all these jobs. Yeah, there's jobs if you want to slice deli meat and drop French fries in the deep fryer. There's those jobs, Jason, but I even think, you know what, I hate to say it, I think even those jobs over the next 90 days, they're going away.
Yeah, Joe, and we're moving so fast towards automation in so many areas. I was watching some videos over the weekend. There's going to be a lot of industries where people are no longer required. I don't know how the market could absorb all of this. And I'll say this, with Japan doing what they're doing, China and Japan, and everyone selling their treasuries, they're just saying one thing: start printing. They just want the Fed to turn around and start printing, don't they?
Yeah, and again, so many of these indicators. This is why they're so clueless, and they're not clueless because I know they see these things, but they just want to pretend like they're not happening. Friday, while I was gone, we got out the credit data for the U.S. consumer. So there's two types of credit, right? You've got your home loans, you got your car loans. I won't even call student loans because that's a whole different category. And then you got what they call like revolving credit, your credit cards. And according to February, which was a huge jump in people having to use their credit cards, that's always a sign of consumer weakness. Where, hey, in the months prior, I could pay all my bills and I didn't have to use the credit card. The trend continued in March. Consumer credit rose by almost $52.5 billion. And to give you perspective, that is an all-time record for a single month. And almost all of it was really having to do with student loans and car loans. They were up, but it was about $20 billion. The rest of it was all on credit cards. Credit cards jumped $31.5 billion, the highest print on record. So, Jason, it just tells you we're right at this precipice here where when the credit card gets maxed out, the next thing that happens is what? They stop buying. And I think this is exactly where we're headed.
How many days have we had the numbers come out, Joe, that it's the most of this, it's the highest ever that, or it's 40 years since we've been here for that, right? It's and the thing about the 40 years numbers, Joe, about with inflation and some of these numbers you roll out, the debt is so high and the debt payments are so high. That's what's crippling any ability to ever come back from this thing, Joe. It's completely broken.
Yeah, the whole thing. By the way, losses picking up steam here. The Dow's now down over 600. The Nasdaq's down over 400. The S&P's getting ready to break 4,000. Right now it's at 4,012, down 111 points. Getting to break 4,000. The Nasdaq broke 12,000. The Dow getting ready to break 32,000. And Jason, again, before the show, Jason and I were talking, and I went back and looked. Obviously a year ago, all of these are down. And down, 1,000, in the case of the Dow's over 2,000 points lower today than a year ago. But I went and I pulled out a 5-year chart. And the two lows in that chart were early March of coronavirus, right, when the lockdown started. And people forget this, the liquidity crisis in the Treasury market in December of 2018. The Dow and those two, right, we're looking at about Dow between 19 to 22,000. I'm hoping that it only gets there, Jason. There's a good chance we could go lower than those lows. But I think we've got the exact same problem happening again. Not enough liquidity, violent moves, and then, of course, obviously, rates rising. All these early indicators of trouble. Jobless claims rising. Consumer credit card, and specifically the credit card debt, now all-time record high increases month over month. And Jason, all of these things, you're seeing Challenger Gray in Christmas. The pre-layoff announcements from the big companies now jumped. In 1 month, it went from, 6% less year over year, 30% higher year over year. And all those warning bells are out there. And at the same time, just like I promised you, and it looks like energy prices are getting ready to take the next leg up. I don't know if people saw natural gas. Natural gas hit $9 here in the U.S. last week. And again, you're thinking about, things that normally should be $2 or $3. You're talking 200, 300, 400% higher, Jason, and no end in sight. I saw wheat, the highest, I think it would hit the highest level this millennium this morning.
Yeah, Joe, when a truck driver fills up his truck, if he's close to empty, last year it was about $600, $700 to fill that tank. Now it's $1,100 to $1,200 to fill that tank. That's hard to be a truck driver, Joe.
Yeah, let me tell you, diesel shot way up in the last couple of weeks. Patriot Radio News Hour. We got a special. There's not a lot of it. Get ready to get it. That's coming up next. 800-951-0592. Just a quick look here. 27 stocks are hitting new 52-week highs. As the Dow is now down almost 700 points. 2,258 stocks hitting new 52-week lows. That's about 84 stocks hitting a new 52-week low for every one stock hitting a 52-week high. As the internals of this market, Jason, they're actually worse than what the markets perform.
Well, that just seems normal, doesn't it? Hey, you're either going to be one of the few that's all-time highs and everybody else is all-time lows. That if that doesn't signal how messed up the whole thing is, Joe, there's nothing else that can indicate that. There should be some middle ground, you'd think, right?
Yeah, there should be, but there isn't. And again, when this is an everything bubble, really the only thing that's not in a bubble is gold and silver. And part of the reason is because they deliberately try to hold the price down. They suppress the price. We know that. I'm not even complaining. I thank them. Thank you. Thank you for suppressing it. Do you actually think the world isn't loading up on gold and silver? Of course, I tell you all the time because there's none out there. It's hard to get. But when the World Gold Council says, hey, by the way, demand's up 34% year over year. If you do the math, gold demand is going to outpace scrap in supply. And just like all the other, like we talk about how wheat, highs has been this year, diesel, all-time record highs, all the gold and silver, they're going to follow. Just, again, be thankful you can buy it for less right now. Now, Friday, we've been around a long time. One of the advantages of being in business as long as we have, we know everybody. We do. Everybody knows who we are. We get to bid on things that other companies don't get to do. And Friday, we've got customers that have been with us for almost 30 years. We have opportunities. One of those opportunities happened on Friday. Jason bought almost a full bag of AU 1921 Morgans. And we sold those on Friday. We have 18 rolls left. Now, one of the things that Jason told me the price, this is below cost. They're $650. These are AU to BU. We're going to say AU, but a lot of them are BU. These are 1921 Morgans. The cost, if I was to go out onto the open market if I didn't have a way of buying them in these other, what I'll call other pools, it would cost 20 of these AU Morgans would cost $730. That would be my cost. So then factor in your cost. So you're looking at least at a minimum $800 for a roll of AU 21. If they were pre-21s, the cost would be $800 plus. But these are 21s. We have these 18 rolls left at $650. That means we're selling them for $80 less than what it cost. We're not just the cheapest in the country. It's ridiculous. And that's if anyone has them. That's the hard part, Jason. These are hard to get. There's not a lot out there. That's why they cost so much. But these last 18 rolls at $650, this is the steal of a lifetime. Silver right now, it's $21.75. I thought the bottom was in at 22. Remember I told you a few weeks ago, silver could go to 21. Last week I thought, 22 is probably it. Nope, it looks like we could go to 21, right? We could lose another 75 cents here. These things would still cost $730, maybe more. Buying them here at $650, Jason, it's just outrageous. It's ridiculous. Believe me, if it was me and I had the time, right, buy them and put them up on eBay for like $700 and make out on the whole deal. 800-951-0592. The last 18 rolls of these, we can't replace them, obviously. We can't sell things for $650 that cost us $730, Jason.
That's correct. And when I did the Patriot Radio News Hour, I didn't have these available. So for you guys in Arizona, just once in a while, turn over to Fake News Friday or Faking the Truth, a 3 o'clock Patriot Trading show. You never know what pops in on the afternoon show. And so a lot of times we'll just we get these smaller lots, I guess you could say, and we just try to run them and get them gone quick. So this is what happened on Fake News Friday. And we didn't get them all sold on Friday like I was hoping, Joe, but we had a lot of stuff come in, so I sold a lot of stuff. And, I had a sneaking feeling that after what the Dow did and what the markets did on Thursday, that Monday might be another sell-off. So I wanted to get this stuff into people's hands quick.
Yeah, and we got a couple of lines open here at 800-951-0592, and we're watching all of these things play out. And again, I don't understand all of these companies trying to sit there and say, oh, there's still a way for us to avoid recession. That's not happening. There's only one way this stops: demand destruction, period. How do we stop diesel from going to $6 and $7? Well, we got to use less diesel. Well, how do we got to use less diesel? Well, you got to get the price so high no one can pay for it. And I think this is what we're in for. And again, nothing seems to be going our way. Duluth, I don't know, Jason, if you saw this. Duluth says it was AGCO Corp. AGCO Corp. They released a statement, this was late Thursday, that it has been hit by a cyber ransomware attack, which will make farm equipment, if you have the wrong farm equipment, the brands include Massey Ferguson, Valtra, Challenger, and Fendt. If you have any of those brands, apparently you're not going to be able to operate your equipment, Jason.
Yeah, we reported that too, didn't we? They had the little practice session in December, right? Hey, we're going to practice against cyber attacks worldwide and how it's going to crash the economy. Remember that one, Joe?
Yeah, right. They said that a few weeks ago, and lo and behold, all of a sudden the farmer get into his tractor and it won't start. There you go. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. I've got a couple lines open. We still had a few rolls left. So This is the AU 21 Morgan 650. Before the phones there, I know we had at least 8 rolls left. But again, this is $80 below cost. I laugh. I kind of chastise Jason a little bit. He likes to really heat it up when I'm gone, apparently. 800-951-0592. We like to be, we like to be very competitive. We do. We do our best. We can't be the cheapest and everything. It just doesn't work that way. But this is an item here. Not only are we the cheapest, we're so far below cost. This is a no-brainer at 800-951-0592. You think prices are done going up? Guess again. The post office says it is going to raise its prices at a historical clip, as the agency needs to boost revenue significantly. They had a net loss of $639 million between January 1st and March 31st. What? They lost $639 million in 90 days. Last year, the post office said it lost $82 million during the same period. And Jason, right, again, should the government be involved in delivering the mail? I don't know. I guess you could go back and forth on this. But the post office is saying get ready for the largest price increase in post office history. I do know this. They sent out this thing. They're going to actually take longer to deliver the mail and then charge us a lot more for doing it.
Yeah, the government, once they have the power to run something, they'll never give it up, Joe. It doesn't matter how much in the hole it is. But I'll say this. Why do I get the feeling somewhere in the far future here, UPS and FedEx all just end up being run by the government? Like the feeling all of that bad ownership goes in that direction when FedEx, for some reason, can't handle it, and when UPS can't handle it. It's going that direction. All these companies are having trouble, and they end up all getting bought up by the government. We have to have the government in control of our traveling, the government in control of our communications, the government in control of our mail, physical mail. I mean, a lot of people don't do mail anymore, but there's still a lot. I still do mail, Joe, because I just think it's more private.
I'm the same way as well, and I know that it just boggles the mind that they could lose that much money. Of course, that's, if you want to throw your money away, give it to the government, right? This is why less government is needed, that is for sure. And then over the weekend, I saw this article, which I don't think this one really should shock anybody. They're now saying that 90% of all national central banks, according to the Bank of International Settlement, 9 out of 10 central banks are exploring the central bank digital currency. So, again, this isn't a maybe. This is happening. I don't even know, can we turn against it? I mean, if everybody just refused to use it and refused to accept it, the problem is the government's got big corporations in their pocket.
Only 90%, Joe? I'm surprised they all haven't done it.
Well, again, I don't know the ones that are saying that they're not. I wish they had given. Why do I have the feeling it would be a country we've never heard of? But again, they're saying 9 out of 10. I guess they want to give some hope out there that at least 1 or 2 countries doesn't want to spy on its citizens.
Well, it's the 1 or 2 countries that are getting ready to be invaded. How's that? That's how that works. Get your digital currency, get in line, or get invaded. That's.
Yes, we're going to treat you all like Canadian truckers at some point. And that was the other thing too I saw over the weekend, where the Canadian Health Ministry was tracking all of its citizens through their phones. And again, and I only pointed out because we were doing the same. Don't be fooled. right? And now we're at the point where, hey, it doesn't even have to be the CIA or the FBI. Heck, we could have the CDC and the World Health Organization, whatever it is, whatever we determine, Homeland Security, right? Everybody go ahead and spy on one another. And of course, and if you don't like it, you better be careful what you say, or the Ministry of Truth is going to shut you down, Jason.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. We've been covering the further loss of freedom of speech. I mean, it's that boggles the mind too, Joe. There's actually a government agency, a federal government agency, that's going to tell you what you can or can't say. And don't worry, everybody out there, it ain't going to happen this year. They just got to get you used to the idea that there is somebody watching what you say. It's kind of like when you're in public, you be careful what you're saying out loud, right, Joe? Because you can't just be who you are at home. Sometimes you got to be a little more polite, or whatever your thing is. But years from now, Joe, you better believe they're going to be fining and jailing people for saying the wrong things, right?
Well, I think that's the next step, right? I mean, why create the weapon if you're not going to use it? Of course they're going to use it. And again, this has been a big test to think about what I just said. In Canada, they use the crisis to allow the health ministry to track their citizens. I mean, this is all of this Orwellian stuff that we keep talking about, from digital currencies to the Ministry of Truth, right? All of these things, and of course they don't call it the Ministry of Truth, but that is what it is. And to Jason's point, it's just a matter of time until they start using it. 800-951-0592. I know we had 4 or 5 rolls still left of those AU Morgans. Get them while we still got them. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. I know we got Brittany's on the phone right now. I don't know if we have any. Call right now. Get the last of them. There's only a few rolls left of the. These are AU. A lot of them are BU, but we're going to call them AU 1921 Morgans. Crazy. $80 below cost today at $650 a roll. At 800-951-0592. If you thought your medical bills weren't high enough, if you thought that maybe your insurance premiums were going to go down, guess again. Hospitals are now saying that they are going to have to raise prices by up to 15% as they grapple with rising nurse salaries. People familiar say hospitals are asking to increase prices between 7.5% to 15%. Why do I think in this report there's like one thing at 7.5% and all the rest of it's at 15%? And again, all of this, Jason, is just, it doesn't matter. Every part of your life is just going to cost more, and a lot more. And again, remember, I've been educating all of you. This is a cycle that we've never seen before. This is going to be a depressionary cycle with inflation. Everybody knows it, even I. The Fed's going to quit fighting inflation once they admit we're in a recession, which really is going to be a depression. But we're going to be left with those high prices, Jason.
This has happened in world history many times, Joe, and I talk about when the Roman Empire fell and you ended up with just lords and peasants. I've been saying this for a couple of years now, especially since coronavirus came and started messing up life. And that kind of what's what inflation does. It separates the haves from the have-nots, and that's just the way it is. And we're headed for a what I would estimate 50 to 100 year cycle of lords and peasants. I mean, that's why everyone talks about the 1%. It's really not the 1%. It's more like the 0.1% and everybody else, Joe. I mean, even these sports stars that make millions of dollars and actors, I have a feeling a lot of these guys over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, a lot of these guys are going to get wiped out, Joe. You're not going to be making very much. I mean, look at the music industry. Remember those rock stars that go out there and make millions of dollars doing shows? Where's that, Joe? It's gone. Musicians are poor now, right? That's what's going to happen to all these other quasi-rich guys, the quarterback for the football team and the celebrity making $40 million for a film. That's all going to go away, Joe. Lords and peasants. And this is why, to be a lord, you got to own title land. You got to own gold and silver. You got to own things that have value, because that's where it's all headed, Joe.
Yeah, everything's just nuts here. The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all getting sent out to the cleaners today. Bitcoin down another 5%. Bitcoin trying now to hold 32,200 there on Bitcoin. I mean, if Bitcoin's going to act like Wall Street, then I guess it really isn't what they claimed it to be. Of course, Jason, I've been telling you that from the get-go. Gold is down 20 right now, about 1.1%. Silver off the lows here, 21.90 now on silver, but it's still down about 40 cents from Friday. And like we said, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all under significant pressure. 800-951-0592. We got $20 gold. We got some gold available. Call us. If we have any of those AU Morgans, we'll gladly give them to you. If not, we'll get you into something else.